Hi, Nick. How are you?
Hello, Prof. How are you, Prof?
I'm good. So, are you at office on Sunday?
At office, yeah, at office Sunday.
Wow,
Cannot do
on
anything.
Sunday. Right. I'm glad to see you. It's been, I think, a lot of years I've not seen you face to face. So but we've seen each other from Facebook and and a lot of other communication. So it's okay in that sense. It's how the technology works. So. Right. So the class right now we have these technologies. I have to call you that because of this TS technologies. Noor Nikman is he's the director, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. The director of the what's the company name?
Black dot management.
Yeah. Like, management. So anyhow, so sorry, forget just suddenly out of blue. So welcome him actually to this class to talk about to talk about the topic on the construction site, actually his experience on the construction site, with the focus certainly here in Kuching. And I'm glad that I'll be able to invited him. When I invite him, I just text him. I say, can you when I text him in Facebook, actually, can you do this for the class? He straight away say yes. So that pretty much I'm very happy that you agree with this. And he's actually part of this class some years ago. I think 4-5 years back. You were in this class actually 3 years back. Not that long.
4 years. Yeah.
4 years back. You were in this class, in this firms competition and institution, so you know a little bit of how the class works. But at that time, we don't really invite people from industry and so on. But right now, we think that the improvement for the class is that we need someone for the industry to share their experience also. Yesterday, we have one sharing actually from one of my from one of the sales manager actually from Kuku. And today we have you. Our next meeting, actually we have one from the academics to share his thoughts. So, but this technological advancement and actually enable us to do this much more efficient way rather than seeing face to face. In that sense, I would say that way. So the student, actually, just to introduce you, Nick, the student actually come from there's two batch of students here inside this class. One from the KK side, means that they are based mostly are based in KK or Labuan in that sense, and the other batch was from KL based KL side. I think some of them are in Kuala Lumpur, in Selangor, or perhaps in their hometown in Perak, in Negeri Sembilan, and so on. With this technology is possible. And I think I have one student actually in China now. Back in China. So that's the interesting part. Also, right? I think, if I'm not mistaken, is this one, Zhengang. You are in China, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes. I'm in China. Yeah.
So that's good to know. Thank you very much for responding that. And yes, I think I will just lead the floor to you, and you can share your thoughts. And then after that, perhaps if you have, those of you who have questions want to ask him, I'm sure he'll be happy to answer, especially based on his experience. So I'll pass the floor to you, Nick. You can share your screen if you want. Your slides. I know you have numbers of slides, which is good.
Sure, Prof. Okay, all right. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me, Prof. Evan Lau. Actually, it has been a while I didn't see you. And last time we see is on graduation day in 2017. So previously, let me briefly introduce myself. My name is Noor Nikman from Kuching, Sarawak, one of the director for the Black Dot Management Serambahat. You guys can see me, isn't it?
Yes.
Can. So one of the director for the Black Dot Management Serambahat from Kuching, Sarawak, mainly focus on three critical area, which is engineering, quantity surveying, and project management consultant. So I'm one of the founder of the company. I started this company in 2014, and recently has been expedited and recently has experienced rapid growth in 2020. Right now, we are in category of growth area lah. That is our company lah. So basically, our main focus in Sarawak. That is our main focus. So today, I think I will introduce about the title today is a tips and tricks to accelerate your business in construction industry. So there is a few area that I want to focus in is after this presentation later on, after this, you will know 4 different area. Number 1 is to build yourself. Number 2 is to know your target market. And number 3 is to build connection and alliance. And number 4 is documentation. So these 4 critical area is very, in my opinion, is very critical because of you need to understand from bottom to top, from regulation to what need to be done before you get the project or after you get the project, and then after that, what is the documentation that you need in order to protect yourself and also to protect your firm. So I do understand that there is a lot of Semenanjung people over here, which mean you guys came from Semenanjung, and some of you guys came from China. In my opinion, China and Semenanjung and Sarawak is way more different compared to, even though we are in the same Malaysia, but we have our own regulation that need to be followed. So mainly that this presentation will be focusing more to our regulation in Sarawak and what is my past experience based in Sarawak, actually based in Sarawak. So if you, in this presentation later on, if you want to ask some question, please raise up your hand, or you can turn on your microphone to ask me about anything that you want. So our learning objective for today is we have 3 learning objectives. Student will have the understanding of establishing a new company. Number 2 is student able to identify target market in construction industry. Number 3 is student able to identify stakeholder through business connection and alliances. So number 1, normally for the past 3 to 4 years, I met a lot of people. So almost 70% of them don't know how to establish a company. So right now, I will tell you one by one how to establish a company, starting from A to Z. What is the compliance? What do you need? What is the license that you need in order for you to expedite your growth? For your information, without a license, you cannot go far. So establishing a new company with correct license is a mandatory, in my opinion. So identify the target market. Mainly this presentation later on will focus more to construction industry. So we will talk more about your target market, our target market, in Sarawak target market, federal target market, business to business target market. That is the area that we want to talk about. And then after that, we will, and then the stakeholder. What is the stakeholders? The suppliers, our alliance, your friends, other contractors, and then after that, any other companies that want to support you. For example, bank. That is the area that I want to talk about. So in my opinion, you guys were very lucky because in this room, we have considered as a multiracial group. Actually, you guys, people from China, you have people from Semenanjung, and you have a lecturer from Sarawak. At least you can mingle around to build your connection. In my opinion, connection is very important. Friendship is very important in business, because that is where you can asking for help from your friend actually. So next is how to identify engineering firm. I think, do you know how to identify engineering term? Any one of you? Okay, to identify engineering firm is quite very simple. You see their name. If they have engineering at the back, that is engineering firm. If they do construction, that is engineering firm. If they do consulting, that is engineering firm. For example, Ranhil is one of the consultant. And then after that, Gamuda is one of the contractor. And then after that, Zikon is one of the contractor too. And Naim is one of the contractor. And how about the Petra Energy? How about Sapura Energy? That is a contractor too. So to identify engineering firm, basically it's very easy. You see what is the business model. You see their profile. If they show a lot of construction, that is engineering firm. So do you think this is engineering firm? So in my opinion, yes, they are one of the engineering firm. So the brief introduction about our industry is, let me talk more about our industry. So the construction industry is the industry who involve in construction, building, infrastructure, drilling, fabricating, land clearing, maintenance, renovation, pipe laying, cable laying, transmission line, tower erection, and anything related with construction of new infrastructure, building, or maintenance that is considered as a construction industry. And even the supplier for the construction material also in gray area, but considered as construction industry also. And most of the engineering firm will have the engineering firm. Normally they have engineering at the back of their name. I think that is the regulation from the Sarawak, from the government. For example, if you establish a company, example XYZ Engineering, you need to put engineering at the back in order for you to market yourself. And some of them they can put XYZ Consultant, which means that you are focusing more to consultancy. So the picture at the right side is ongoing project at Sarawak. I think you guys know about Pen Borneo project, isn't it? Anyone of you know about Pen Borneo project? So this is the Pen Borneo project, Naim package, WPC 06. This is the ongoing contract right now, Pen Borneo project, which is considered as a mega project in Sarawak. This one based on actual picture. To identify engineering and consultancy, we need to understand about the nature of work. So engineering is more to, you build stuff, you make stuff, you go on ground, you make yourself berpanas. That is engineering firm, which means that you go on the ground, you build based on specification. That's engineering firm. You mobilize all your machinery to make things happen. That is engineering firm. And then after that, the consultancy. This is consultancy. Consultancy means that you help your client to create, to make, to design, to comply with the government regulation, to make things safe, and to endorse the client's drawing or the construction drawing. That is the consultancy that we know. But the consultancy, they have a lot. For example, QS consultancy, they have architecture, they have civil consultant, they have mechanical consultant, and they have also the electrical consultant. There's a lot of consultancy. So basically, that is the brief introduction about basically this is the things that I told you. The engineering. This is a construction company who provide the construction services. Example, Naim Holding, Zikon, Gamuda, Hock Seng Lee, Samling, and other things. There are other local contractor too. For example, KACC, Shawfield, KURW, Energy Line, Multipo, Meksajati, and other. Basically, the big contractor is one of the public listed company in Bursa, Malaysia. And the small contractor normally just they handle up to 100 million contract. This is the company. So the consultant team, ensuring that they help the client to design things. So they are well-known consultant. For example, Ranhill, KTA, Minsa, Consortium Bumi. This is the well-known consultant in Sarawak. And there are other consultants also, for example, JPI, Perunding Mohandis, Juo Kobina Tema, DD Architect, and other things. These are the consultants who help the clients to build the specification on behalf of the client. The way they charge is a bit different compared to the contractor. They are more to governed by their own bodies. For example, Board of Engineer Malaysia, they have their own rate how to charge the client. For example, 3.5% from the contract, 2.5% on the contract. The bigger the contract, the smaller the professional fee need to pay to the consultant team. And this percentage are based on how much warrant. For example, one warrant 100 million, which means that they charge 3.5% for 100 million. So it's got very interesting. So at the on the left side, as you can see, these are the actual drawing from Sarawak Energy Berhad, tender drawing on the transmission line drawing. Basic concept of the pylon tower for if I'm not mistaken, this one is for 500 kV, I think, crossing river tower, type A and type C. So this is the actual drawing that I get from Sarawak Energy. So next is, after introduction, we need to know how to build ourselves. So we will talk more about to building our company, to build ourselves. Without, you cannot make a business without building yourself. You cannot make a business without a proper license. You need to have a proper license from the government, from the certified regulatory body, in order for you to do business, to make your business legit. So you guys studied corporate master in business administration. You need to know about this stuff, in my opinion. So to understand about the industry requirement, we talk more about construction industry. We will talk more about contractor. We don't talk about consultant, but you need to understand about consultant a bit. Right now, we will focus more to contractor. These are the regulatory body who you need to comply. You need to go to see them and to apply a license from them. So Hanjaya Syarikat Malaysia, this is the Malaysia requirement. As you can see, this is Malaysia requirement. LHDN, CIDB Malaysia. If you are from Sarawak, this is considered mandatory. You need pendaftaran contractor. As you can see, I did a lot of company from international company. I did a lot with Semenanjung company. And after this presentation later on, I will share my thought, my experience. What are the obstacles faced by the Semenanjung company and international company coming to Sarawak? Because our regulation in Sarawak is much more different compared to Semenanjung. A lot of them try to come to Sarawak, but being blocked by the regulation over here. So it is very tough. Even though they have a license, it is very tough. So for the consultant, they need to register with Board of Engineer Malaysia, Lembaga Juru Ukur Malaysia, Lembaga Arkitek Malaysia, and also Lembaga Perancangan Bandar Malaysia. As I think, for your information, this is the professional body who govern the professional in Malaysia. Without this, you cannot consider it as a consultant company. Next. So how to start a business? I think this one is quite general. There are 4 types of business as I understand. Normally I see in the market. Number 1 is sole proprietorship. partnership, Sendirian Berhad Private Limited, and Berhad. This one is more to public listed company. This one is a private limited company. This one is considered as sole prop company. So the difference compared to this part and the blue part and the green part is, in my opinion, is the liability. So if the blue part, if you go bankrupt, the bank or any other parties will go through your personal things. They can sita your all your personal things. That is the dangerous part about this blue area. But the green area, if you go bankrupt, tak minta lah. If you go bankrupt, they will stop until company only. They will not go to personal belongings. So for the blue part, you and company is considered as one entity. The green part, you and company is considered as separate entity. It's quite very that is the things that I know about the blue part and the green part. So to start a business in Sarawak, there are a lot of, you need to go to LHDN Sarawak, Lembaga Hasil, the tax regulator in Sarawak, LHDN Sarawak, to get R22 form. But my apologies because of this one is too tailor-made for Sarawak again. So, and then after that, for the Sdn Bhd and Berhad, you need to go to SSM. This one, you need to go to SSM to register your company, Sdn Bhd company. Normally, you need to engage company secretary to make a company for you. Normally, usually it takes around 2,000 to 3,000 ringgit only. That making a company is quite very simple. But choosing the right path, the breakdown for the company, the niche market that you want to target is difficult. Make a company is easy. So in Sarawak, we need to comply with Borang RID 7 or considered as Borang I. You need to get this trading license from the LHDN Sarawak. Without this license, you cannot operate in Sarawak. This is special part things about Sarawak. So in order for you to get this license, you need to establish your company in Sarawak. If you have company in Semenanjung, Malaysia, if you have company in China, you need to put your subsidiary in Sarawak locally to get this Borang I. Without Borang I, you cannot operate in Sarawak. So this one is considered as a very critical license in Sarawak. So for this license, there are a lot of category. You need to understand. You need to know what is your category. You need to know what is your niche market. You need to know what is your target market. For example, if you want to target for contractor, for civil engineering, mechanical engineering, you need to put this in breakdown and to bring to the LHDN to make sure that they register you as based on one by one trading license that you want. So this one is very critical. If you put wrongly in this area, you will face a lot of problem in the future. So you need to choose carefully in this part. So, and then after that, you need to go to CIDB Malaysia. So when we talk about Malaysian, CIDB Malaysia, you need to register with CIDB. CIDB is considered as mandatory license. Without CIDB, you cannot operate. Without CIDB, you can be fined. You can be fined by the government because you make construction illegally without any proper license. So for local, you need to go for these grueling stages. Number one is PKK, SPKK, STB, and SCORE. For the international, it's quite very simple, but it is cash intensive. What do you mean by cash intensive? You registered your company in Malaysia, you registered your company with CIDB and pay certain amount, and then after that they will release your PKK foreign license, and then you start to operate in Malaysia. Then we will talk more about how local and international company operate later on. For the local company, you need to have your PPK, this certificate, and then after that you need to get SPKK, Sijil Perolehan Kerajaan. This one is considered as, we talk about the local company first. This is considered as mandatory. This one is not considered as mandatory. And the score is very, very difficult. Even public listed company, they have 4 score. They will never have 5 score. Even the public listed company. So this one is considered as critical license. You need to understand. So after this, we will show you how to play around with the license, how to use the license to get your target market, how to use the license to build connection locally and internationally, and to build strong connection. This is a special license, UPKJ Sarawak. This one is special license for Sarawakian only. A lot of company from Semenanjung, West Malaysia came to Sarawak, and they cannot operate because of this license. As you understand that in Sarawak, we have a very tough regulation need to be followed. Without this license, you cannot operate in Sarawak. And a lot of Semenanjung company, West Malaysian company, come to Sarawak, build a joint venture with local company who have this license, and then start to operate in Sarawak. So this is the license that considered as very, very critical in Sarawak also. We have a lot of type of license that need to be applied by Sarawakian. Semenanjung people can, West Malaysian company can apply too, but you need to establish in Sarawak. Plus, you need to have local partner owning 51%, and West Malaysian owning 49% to get this license. Then you can entitle for this license. Then you can operate in Sarawak. This is considered as very critical. But in my opinion, why Sarawak government do this type of license? It is because of they try to protect local market. They try to protect local businesses. If they don't have any, if they open the business to the whole Malaysia, everyone who started to come to Sarawak, and then after that they leave the local businesses like that. Maksudnya there is no local benefit in this kind of sense. So it is quite very good regulation in my point of view. So in this, okay, when we talk about the project value, when we talk about the company, you need to understand what your target market. What is your project value that you want to target? Because of, if you don't know your target project value, you cannot apply a proper license. For example, on the left side is a Pen Borneo Highway project. Pen Borneo Highway project, for their total contract is around 16 billion ringgit. 16 billion ringgit. And that 16 billion ringgit divided into 11 package. And each package will have around 1 billion per package. So to know your target market, you need to understand which area that you want to target. For example, you want to build the very tall building in Kuala Lumpur. Very tall building. One 22-story tall building costing around 100 to 200 million ringgit. So you need to know your target market. So you know already that you want to build one tower, 100 million ringgit. So you need to apply proper license for the to target that kind of niche market. But some of we cannot expect we want to target for big project only, but you need to not all of us we want to target for big project. Some of us try to get for small project. For example, small renovation project, small construction project, for example, 100,000 ringgit, 50,000 ringgit. So for 50,000 ringgit, you need to apply for grade 1. For any project value worth 200,000 ringgit and below, you need to apply for grade 1. I'm talking about the local contractor. If you want to build a tower 100 million ringgit in Kuala Lumpur, you need to apply for G7. The minimum value for this license is 10 million ringgit and above, unlimited. So for international company who I think that there are 9 China people from China, isn't it, over here, isn't it? So if you want to make a connection in Sarawak, to make a connection in Malaysia for construction project, you need to find G7 company. So you will target mega project because this company will target mega project. So the capital required over here is for small company 5,000, for big company is 750,000. So why we talk about million ringgit over here? Because you need to know your target market. After you know your target market, then you can start to plan your company in properly. For example, in Sdn Bhd, there is one area called paid up capital, authorized capital. If your paid up capital you put wrongly, you put 1,000 ringgit, you cannot apply for G1 license. G1 license is 5,000 ringgit. So to plan your company in early stage is considered as very critical. If your target is G7, grade G7, you need to put paid up capital 750,000 ringgit and above. So this is the reason why we talk about decide your project value. What do you want to target for the next 2 or 3 years? How much value project that you want to target? So this is very critical. So next, this is the stages based on my understanding. Number 1 is stage number 1. You need to apply for SSM license. Number 2 is LHDN Malaysia, but this one mainly for Sarawak only. Trading license. Number 3 is to get this PP, Perakuan Pendaftaran Kontraktor, but for international company, they will start number 4 only. Over here, they will have foreign license. But for local, we as a Malaysian, we need to go up until number 6 and number 8 in order for us to strengthen our license. So number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4 is considered as code bidang. Over here, we have a lot of things. For example, code number 0, CE number 1 is code, if I'm not mistaken, code Jambatan, I think. CE02 is road. CE03 is marine. There are a lot of code bidang specialist bidang over here. And a lot of company, after they establish CIDB, they will leave it like that. They will never upgrade their CIDB license. In my point of view, we as a CMBA, we need to understand this license. We need to know where to manipulate this license in order for you to help you for the growth in the future. So this number 4, after you get this license, you need to upgrade 1 by 1 code, your specialist code, 1 by 1. Without proper code, the client cannot award you a certain project. For example, if they have a project, structure marine, underground, underwater project, if you don't have any that kind of code, they cannot give you the project. That is the critical part of the establishing a license over here. Number 3 is a score. For the federal government in Malaysia, they have a minimum score. 3 score is considered as minimum. 2 score, you cannot apply for any project in Malaysia. You need to target for three score. And then after that, number 5 is the special license to get the government project. Without this license, you cannot apply for government project. The government cannot award you any project. So this number 5 is considered as very critical. And then number 6 is for local Bumiputra only. Number 7 is for the local Sarawakian only. And number 8. So you need to plan properly, because without knowledge, without this proper step, you will stuck 2 to 3 years. 2 to 3 years. With knowledge, you can up to 1 year. 1 year is minimum to establish this license. 2 years is to strengthen the license. So this one is quite very tough. So this is the step-by-step establishing a license is strategy, mainly a strategy. I call it strategy because of this is how I do it. This is how I do it to strengthen my license. This is the kind of step-by-step that I go in through. So number 1 is SSM. Number 2 is trading license. Number 3 is CIDB. But I properly plan my step. PPK cert, score, SPKK, and then after that I go to UPK directly. UPK is one of the Sarawak state government license. And then after that, the total process for this, even though that I have a experience to handle a company license, it will took around one and a half years to complete all of this, including Petronas license and Sarawak Energy. So it took one years to complete these steps. So it is very critical. If you follow this step one by one, I'm very sure that you will have no problem in the future. I think that that is in my opinion. So this one is for the foreign company. Yesterday, that Professor Evan Lau told me that there are 9 persons from China. So I add up one more slide in order for them to understand more about the foreign company to establish foreign company in Malaysia. So normally, foreign company in Malaysia, I deal a lot of foreign company. For example, previously I deal with Jongsun ITC from South Korea doing the transmission line project for Sarawak Energy, number 1. Number 2 is PT Tinakana from Indonesia doing the transmission line project for the Sarawak Energy. And then after that, I deal with Redisis. Recently, I signed memorandum of understanding from Redisis to supply the infrastructure 3G, 5G infrastructure in Malaysia. And then after that, I deal with ZCCC, construction company from China. And recently, I deal with China Harbour and currently dealing with China Harbour. So we see a lot of international company in Sarawak. And we understand their strategy. We understand that how they works in Malaysia. So basically, there are a few steps that how we see how they expand in Malaysia actually. Number 1 is HQ. They have a initiative, a strategic expansion initiative. They build a company in Malaysia, but normally invest in Kuala Lumpur. And then after that, they apply for CIDB, foreign license, and they will stop until CIDB only, foreign license. Normally, for the headquarters and responsibility from the headquarters, They will supply for financial support, technical support, and documentation. All compliance will come from headquarters in order for them to comply with the government regulation over here. And they will stop until CIDB only. But for international company, they have their own target market. They have their own niche market. For example, for the energy sector, if you know, they will go to transmission line project, high voltage substation, and hydroelectric dam. That is for the energy sector. And we see a lot of international company playing in this area. For example, Sino Hydro, China Power, XD Power, and we see a lot of them. KEC is one of the India company. Larsen Turbo, they play in this sector, and they hunting for Sarawak energy project. And the way we see how they works is they establish a company in Sarawak, they apply CIDB license, and then after that they go for direct bidding for transmission line project and substation project. So that is considered as a niche market. Why international company come to Sarawak and helping the local to build the infrastructure over here? Because of the local tenderer don't have any experience to do very tough technical requirements. Not all local company have this type of experiences. So for the Sarawak Energy, they try to get for international players come to Sarawak to provide this type of service. At the same time, the local tenderer need to learn from the international company in order for them to have an experience. So this is how we see. And then after that, the technology intensive sector is the chemical plant, solar plant, semiconductor. And recently in Sarawak, coming soon, coming soon, there is one company will come to Sarawak to build a plant. Hydrogen plant, I think. Hydrogen plant coming soon in Sarawak, in Bintulu area. Right now, is still in stage of planning, if not mistaken lah. So this is the sectors that we talk about. And then after that, the construction industry. For the construction sectors, cable stay bridge, FPSO, jack up rig, that is the construction segment. And this cable stay bridge is China Harbour, ZCC. This is where we see in Sarawak, and we deal with them. We deal with them, a lot of them. And okay, basically we has finished to establish a company in Sarawak. Now you need to know your target market. Your target market, basically target market, in my point of view, there are three types of target market that is safe. Three types of target market that is safe. Number one is business to government, but federal. So this is the target market that is safe. Definition of safe means that if you do construction, your payment from the government is considered as guarantee. So in my point of view, it's safe. So target market number one is business to government, but considered as federal government. Example of federal government is Kementerian Kerja Raya Malaysia, KKR Malaysia, Jabatan Kerja Raya Malaysia, JKR Malaysia, Pharma, Resda, Custom. These are the federal government. Normally, these two areas, Kementerian Kerja Raya, they have a lot of project. For example, solar hybrid project recently being awarded, to 6 company in Malaysia. 6 company in Malaysia, solar hybrid project that is considered as bahaya sekali. And then after that, the genset project and a lot of infrastructure project, new complex. Normally, KKR Malaysia will issue out this tender. And then after that, next is business to government, but state only. This one is, we try to focus more to Sarawak only because this slide is tailor-made to Sarawak. I thought that a lot of Sarawakian over here. For the business to government Sarawak only, we have a lot of jabatan, we call it a department. Rekoda, they have a lot of project in Rekoda, infrastructure in Rekoda. Sarawak Multimedia Authority, they have billions of ringgit to build out the infrastructure, 3G, 5G infrastructure in Sarawak. And recently in 2018, they issued out a tender to do a tower survey, and I did involve in this area, 1,000 tower in Sarawak. And this is the local authority, JKR Sarawak, JBAP. These are the considered as a, they did issued out a lot of project in Sarawak. So basically this is the considered a very good target market. So the reason why I put this link one by one is to give you a brief information where to get the tender information for you to participate. You need to have a license. You need to know your target market. You need to know where to get the information to participate in this tender. No need to talk about the direct negotiation because direct negotiation is a different part. But this one is mainly you need to participate, actively participate for this tender. But in Sarawak, it's different compared to West Malaysia. In West Malaysia, if you want to bid for a project, there is 20, 30, 40 companies will participate in one single project. But in Sarawak, one project, sometimes 5 to 6% only participate. So in Sarawak, there is considered as tepu. A lot of contractor in Sarawak tepu dengan project. Terlalu banyak. So we cannot handle sometimes. And this is the target market number 3. Business to business, but focusing more to government link company only. The government link company is considered as a safe business because of your payment is assured by them. So these are the government link company who normally issued out a tender to contractors. So Sarawak Energy, Science, SEDC, Petronas, Petros, and in my point of view, Sarawak Energy issued out a lot of tender. For example, 500 kV transmission line project, package A and package B, recently being issued out in 2021, valued at 300 million. 2 package, 600 million issued out. So Sarawak Energy have a lot of opportunity in my point of view. That's why there is a lot of international tenderer come to Sarawak targeting for Sarawak Energy. So right now you understand. You have to understand more about your target market. You need to understand the process, one by one process, how to bid your project one by one. So number 1, to participate in this bidding process one by one, you need to select which project you want to get. Let us give you a brief example. You want to get the cable stay bridge project at Sarawak. You want to participate in this project. Number 1, you need to select, and then after that you check your eligibility. Are you comply with the government regulation or not? For example, the eligibility is Malaysian company. You need to have G7 license, and then after that you need to have CE01, CE02, CE03. Example, If you not comply to this requirement, no need to apply because you automatically rejected. Now you understand the importance of building your license. So in order for you to comply with eligibility requirement, to build a license is 1 to 2 years. Then after that, purchase the tender document, to do price estimation, preparation, and submission. But price estimation, you need to do calculation one by one. And then after that, preparation of tender document, you need to prepare your document one by one. In this gray area, sometimes you need to do intercompany collaboration. That is the most important thing in this process. You need to know your suppliers. You need to make sure that your suppliers support you. So that is most important thing. So this is the participate in this project, tender bidding process. This is from JKR and Sarawak Energy. And this is the JKR. These are the requirements that you need to follow. As you can see right over here, this is the reason why that we told you that establishing a license is considered as mandatory. In order for you to comply with this requirement, this is the Sarawak Energy requirement. If you see the overhead line vegetation clearing, they need a license class, electrical class 2 license and above. Without a proper license, they will not consider you. So this is considered as very critical. Okay, now we go to build your connection and alliances. This one is to build a connection and alliances is considered as a very critical area. You cannot work on your own. You cannot work on your own. So the reason why is you need to work with others too. Even though that they are one of their competitors, you need to work with them too. But janganlah, you don't need to give all your information to them, but you need to know where to filter the information. So in my point of view, you need to identify your stakeholders. So you need to know your business support, friendly and competitors. This is how I define things. For business support, investor and the bank is the one who give you the monies for you to operate your company. And then after that, local supplier and international supplier, you need to secure them too. For the friendly area, you have your client and consultant. At the same time, you have your alliance, your friend, your subcontractor, and other specialists who involved in this in this field. The definition of specialist means that 500 kV ATT authorized to test. Not all people have this kind of qualification, so you need to have specialists. Why I put this specialist in gray area? Why? Because gray area, they can become your competitor, they can become your friend. So this gray area can convert to threat just like this. That's why this is my point of view, because your alliance, they have a license too. They can participate too. They can become your competitors easily. So competitors is pure competitors. So this area, if you know your competitors, if you know their capabilities, it's either you can choose to work with them or to make them as official competitors. In my point of view, I like to make them as a friend, and then after that, ask them to, if I require some help, I will ask for help. So berkawan lah. Berkawan lah. So this is the area that we talked just now. The investor, bank, every stakeholder will related to your own company. You need to know where is their position in your company. It's got very you need to understand their positions in the company. And this is my integration strategy process based on what I applied recently. And for the, I think you will learn this part. You learn this part in this lecture process by Professor Evan Lau. Basically, there is vertical and horizontal integration. And as you can see, that this logo, one by one, is the actual company that I deal with. The supplier, who is the supplier that I secured? Who is the international supplier that I secured? Who is the consortium member that I secured? And who is my associate partner that I want to associate with my company? So we try to combine all this information, all this, so from supplier, local supplier, international supplier, consortium member, we try to manage everything in one single company. And then after that, we try to use their capacity, capability, and to help us to push forward for intercompany relation. So this is my strategy. I don't like to make enemies with others. We love to make friends. We love to make alliances with other companies, compared to working alone. It's quite tough. And so this is our company experience and collaboration that I told you just now. The South Korea, Indonesia, Singapore, and US. This is the based on actual deal that we gone into. So we almost come into the end. So what we have learned in this process. Number one is we learn to build yourself. Number two is you know your target market. Number three is you know to build your connection and alliances. This critical key area, if you combine one by one, the best. These three critical area. So how to combine? How to combine? How to combine all these three critical area? I will show you one by one, step by step, how I apply and how we do it. So number one, there are few strategies applied by our company. Even though that our company established in 2014, but our growth in 2020, we experienced growth in 2020, rapid growth until now. Our strategy is quite very, we have 5 strategy. Strategy number 5, we cannot show you, but currently we have go to strategy number 4, stage number 4. Stage number 1 is in 2020, we strengthen our license first. We make sure that all our license comply. We make sure that all our license is, we cannot, our client cannot deny our capabilities. Stage number 2, we will target our niche market. We establish international contract connection. We set our target market. We go for transmission line. We go for electrical. We go for infrastructure. That is we try to set our target, because we know that with our license, we can push which target market we want to take. For international company, they don't have any license. They rely on local tenderer. That is where the stage 3 coming in. They rely on your strength license, but local tenderer will rely on their financial capacity. Normally, international company, they have a lot of capital, for example, from China. So they have a lot of capital, a lot. And then from stage number 3, we have 4 critical area that where we want to collaborate with our is either local or international. Number 1 is joint venture. Number 2 is strategic alliance. Number 3 is business support. What you want to support. Number 4 is official distributor. And recently we have signed official distributor with VDCs for the infrastructure. So these 4 critical strategy that we apply, in my opinion, is working for us. It's working for us. And right now we are in the midst of going to stage number 4. We're strengthening our cash flow. And right now we started to deal with the bank to put everything in one single bank in order for them to hit their target lah, to hit their target. Definition of hitting their target is at least the branch manager, they have very active client in one single bank. So this is how we do it in this area. So final part is the useful tool to safeguard your interests. To build up connection, to build up network, to build up alliances, you need to have a tool. Without this tool, you cannot safeguard your interests. What are the tools that is very efficient to safeguard your interests? There are 3 tools is very critical. Number 1 is MOU, Memorandum of Understanding. Number 2 is Memorandum of Agreement. Number 3 is Non-Disclosure Agreement. But in my point of view, I love number 1 and number 2. Number 3, we try to avoid because I want to get directly involved. So this 3 tool is very critical. So every time you make deal with international company, local company, you need to have set of documentation ready for each party to sign. So it's very critical. So this is the real example. We signing the MOU signing and partnership. We recently signed MOU with our partner to build a project in northern region. And basically, we almost come to the end of the presentation. So when we go to the title, when we refer back to the title is Tips and Tricks to Accelerate Your Business Growth in Construction Industry. So each tips and trick, when you go to the tips and tricks, refer to the build up yourself and how to operate your license, how to make your license, how to strengthen your license. That is the tips and tricks. To accelerate your growth, you need to know your target market and which your target market, which is the target market suitable for you, and with existing license in hand, how to bid the project based on your target market. Number 3, in construction industry, you need to build connection and alliances. You can make enemies, but no need to make enemies because of you cannot work alone in this area. You need someone, you need partners, not only inter-company relation, but external, but suppliers. You need to have your own connection to help you to achieve anything that you want to do. Without a strong partner, it is very tough. Without a strong support from the supplier, it is very tough. Why very tough? The supplier can jack up the price easily if they know you're not good with them. For example, the steel price, normal price is around 3,400 ringgit. The supplier can charge you 4,000 ringgit per ton if you are not good with them. So build connection, alliances. So that is most important thing. And the 4th part is the useful tool to safeguard your interests. The documentation that you need. You need to safeguard your interests. You have built yourself. You know your target market. You have your connection and alliances. Make sure the documentation is there to support you, to back up you if anything goes wrong, if anything goes haywire. So in my point of view, to build a connection and alliances, no need to be tamak. Tamak means that what do you call tamak? Yes, no need to Tama.
Greedy.
Greedy, yes,
Greedy.
greedy. They need to be so greedy. Just a play around, just be friend with others. No need to be so greedy in my point of view. So, do you have any question and answers? Chun, 1 hour, Prof. Okay, that is my final part.
Thank you very much for the presentation. Actually, it's a very exciting way of actually knowing the business that you're doing also, and give a lot of tips actually for especially for the to know the reality out there, talking about regulation, to fit in the regulation, to and to compile. I mean to have the license and everything is rather important also, as we mentioned by by Nick here. So, any question from anyone to the from the floor that you want to ask him straight, if you're interested in the construction industry straight away, or you want to invest coming into Sarawak, he's one of the partner that you can look to, and certainly that will be a kind of a collaboration, as he mentioned a lot in this presentation. So, any question from anyone?
I sir.
Yeah. Yes, Praveen.
Okay. My question is, can anybody obtain the license? What is my point of view is, let's say I'm not in my construction area. I don't know anything about construction, so I can easily get all the license throughout it, or what is the requirement to get all the license? Should I need to attend some test or some class or something to fulfill the requirement, or what? How is it work?
Before that, Mr. Pavin.
Yep.
How to call you, Mr. Sorry,
Praveen.
Praveen. Sorry, Mr. Praveen.
Yep.
If you don't mind, which industry that you involved in, Mr. Pavin, if you don't mind?
I'm in creative industry. I'm a film editor, drama editor.
Drama editor. Okay. Mr. Pravin, to build a company in Malaysia is very easy, but to comply with the regulation is very tough. To make a company for construction company in Malaysia, considered as easy as long you have capital, but there is a trick you need to follow. Example of the okay, establish a SSM, number 1 SSM, and then after that you need to select your business activity, normally 3 business activities, and then after that you need to put out how many paid up capital in one business. For example, if you put paid up capital up to 1 million, then after that you need to apply for CIDB Malaysia. For CIDB Malaysia, after you apply, you need to apply one by one which grade you want to choose. Each grade they have their own requirement. For example, grade number 1, you alone is enough. Grade number 7 ataupun G7, you need to have 2 engineer in company.
So the engineer acts as a director or worker, something?
Worker.
Okay.
Okay, you alone, if you one of the director, you can recently in Malaysia, if I'm not mistaken, in 2015 and below, you need to have 2 director in SSM, correct, isn't it?
Yeah.
But recent regulation in Malaysia, you can have 1 director in 2016 and above. You can 1 director is enough for in SSM. So to apply a license in CIDB, you can use 1 director as a top management and 2 engineer as to comply with the requirement. But there is a trick. There is a trick. You want to know what this trick is? Okay. To run away from these two engineer requirement, you can find a partner who have technical background. You can use the degree certificate to register with CIDB. So you don't need to hire for engineer.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Do you have any other questions?
That's a very technical idea, but with his experience, I'm sure that he's gone through a lot of things, not just from applying and compile with the regulation and so on, but at least you don't break the rule. That's the most important thing, and follow what's the regulation out there, and then do not, do it in such a way of a legal perspective. So any more questions? Not necessarily on this part only, but I can ask him about some other things that he involved in, especially because with this experience and the company that he leads. So it's a pretty interesting journey, I guess. Any more questions from the floor, from any one of you? From our friends, perhaps from China, you have question?
Actually, I have the experience in KK, and because I'm an engineer, we have a project in KK. But I think most Chinese company when go to Malaysia because of the different regulations, so there will some problems when we operation in the local company. So what's your based on your experience? So do you have any ideas for running the project or the company?
Okay, I know.
Okay.
Okay, I know what this thing. If you don't mind,
Yeah.
which company that you're coming from in KK?
I'm from Yunnan Investment and Construction Holding Group. It's a state-owned company in Yunnan province.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I deal with ZCCC. I think you know ZCCC.
Yeah. As you told me, China Harbor, right?
China Harbor, yes.
Yeah, Donggugang.
Currently,
it's a very big company in China, but it's owned by central government in China.
We deal with China Harbor.
Yeah.
In southern region, southern region means you refer to Sarawak. Southern region, there is ongoing infrastructure development.
Yeah.
And some of the area is controlled by, not controlled, is handled by China Harbor. China Harbor control Sejingkat Suspension Bridge, Lingga Bridge. They control two bridge, development of two bridge.
Okay.
So our company involved in Sejingkat Bridge area, and we deal with a lot of China Harbor company. And then after that, the way they do things is, okay, it's quite very tough, but we try to go to surface ya, jangan terlalu to go into depth. The way they do things is they have a main contractor as a bidder. They will become as a subcontractor to manage the project. At the same time, they engage the third party to handle for them. So normally, for international company who come to Malaysia, they will have the main contractor in front of them. Normally, this is what I see. This is what I see.
They use many local staff.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, based on what I see,
yeah.
Normally for this international company, the project manager is handled by local competent person, the project manager. And then after that, the commercial manager will be the China person who handle the communication between the site office and the headquarters.
Okay.
Because in my point of view, why they choose the local project manager, because of easy to communicate, number one. Number two is, my apologies, I will try to be frank with you, Ken. The communication between China and the local is it's not very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my point of view. sorry. Do you have any other questions? Is that answer your question?
Yeah. because based on my experience, the different regulations. So maybe sometimes our experience in China is not useful in Malaysia. So sometimes we have difficulties when we operate the project. That's my confuse, because the KK project is my first project in Malaysia. Actually, the contract have been terminated because of the COVID-19. So we stay 2 years in KK and do the part of the project, and we go back.
Oh,
Yeah. It's a big project. The total contract is 400 million ringgit. Yeah.
This one is development.
Yeah.
What?
Apartment and a hotel.
Apartment hotel. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for that sharing. Based on the that kind of perspective, I guess, yeah, that's why I think what Nick want to say and what Zenggang sharing is that coming into the foreign company coming into here, perhaps they might need local partners and to sort of iron out the idea here. And certainly there are challenges to coming into here, but then again, with the local partners, I'm sure a lot of things can be made easy in that sense. The collaboration there is important to ensure that this thing are much more smoother in that sense. So me have one last question. Actually, this question not from me. Actually, I bring this question from Vicky. Actually, he's he's inside here. Yeah, he's inside here, but I don't think he have he can't. He's not in the moment can speak up because he's in the vaccination, waiting for his vaccination. Vignesh here, Vignesh Wah. You can see, I mean, his name here, but he's in this. He texts me and he say he want to ask a question to Nick. So his question is that this is just from his point of view. He's with Maybank. He is with Maybank actually. According to his Maybank market outlook, that I think because he's part of this this side of the Maybank, not the bank, the Maybank business center side. So they view the Maybank side business center actually view the construction industry actually as high risk in that sense. So basically that you know how actually according to him, what type of I mean return on investment in that sense, because especially in this pandemic time, I'm sure that in the construction side is one of the so-called high risk, and perhaps the bank itself or not giving out fresh loans to this construction site. How actually this will impact the construction site, or how would it impact actually the return on investment in that sense? So what he actually asking is that from that point of view is that is it worth in that sense to invest, to open up especially this time in for that perspective in this pandemic time, and how to go about it. You have that kind of experience, perhaps because you are in this and we are in the pandemic time. How's the return on investment, especially in this pandemic time? Thank you. I ask on behalf of him.
For your information, I heard this so-called high risk since 2014. All banks in Malaysia considered construction is a considered high risk project, high risk category. So in my point of view, why the construction sector be categorized as high risk is number one, the previous construction company who make things wrong. That is the reason why they can consider construction industry as considered as high risk. But in my point of view, based on what I see, based on what I calculate, based on my information, the return on investment for the construction not considered return. We talk about net profit. The net profit for each construction company is 20 to 15%. 20 to 15%. That one is after deduction of operating costs, after deduction of expenses. In my point of view, is considered as still good, in my point of view. And then I don't know why they categorize construction industry as a high risk, but we heard a lot of previous info yang for example Tipex King have a lot of project in Sarawak, and then after that Tipex King have a big project. I think you know about Tipex King, Global Upline, isn't it? He owned the hotel in Sheraton, currently convert to Century Hotel, Sheraton in Langkawi. And then after that, Damai Resort, Santubong Resort. And he did a lot of project with the government. But after a while, he do a lot of construction things. And he is the one who make things complicated, in my point of view. He fault not paying people, not paying the government, not paying the banks. So because of that, things goes haywire, in my point of view. So that's why a lot of the bank categorized as construction industry as a very high risk sectors. So how to tackle this type of thing? So number one is, based on our audited report, we try to be as come clean as possible. Definition of come clean means that if your profit is 20%, put 20%. No need to readjust, do the adjustment, reduce paying tax. No need to do readjustment. Just put it there. How much tax that you want to pay, just pay tax. No need to readjust. And then after that, try to deal with the bank, try to put the fixed deposit in the bank, and then after that try to get a one-to-one facility to the bank. This is how I do things. Or based on project financing, we try to deal with Kenanga Investment Bank to support our project, because of a lot of commercial bank categorize this industry as high risk. So I cannot go to commercial bank to support for my project. We need to go for investment bank to support for my project. So in order for me to support for the project, we ask Kenanga Investment Bank to provide us the loan, maximum up to 35 million to support for each project. So currently Kenanga is one of our supporter. In my point of view, during this in this pandemic, we have a lot of problem. We talk about pandemic, we experience a lot of problem. Problem number one is manpower. A lot of foreign worker cannot come to Sarawak. They need to send back to the Indonesia, Bangladesh. So we have manpower shortage. And every time we appoint local worker, we need to pay 20 to 30% higher. So that is the problem number one. Problem number two, for the past 1.5 years, I personally experienced that increasing in material price. Example, steel. Previously, I bought steel, 1 ton is 2,400 ringgit. Now, last 3 days, I buy a steel, 1 ton, 3,600 ringgit, 1,000 increase, which means that 40 to 50% increase, I think. No, 30 to 40% increase. It is quite a lot. It is quite a lot. So it's hurting the industry. But luckily, we know where to balance since the company have 15% profit margin, we know where to get the budget, to transfer the budget, to balance things. And then after that, we request for variation of price from the government to support for the price increase. But unfortunately, for the variation of price clause, we talk about the contract. Inside the contract, government contract, PWD contract, there is a clause deleted by the government. Delete, strike off. Nama clause tu, that clause is variation of price clause. Based on, when we refer back to the old statement in 2014, Jabatan Pembendaharaan Malaysia deleted the clause because no need. During the pandemic happened, the price increased significantly. We cannot use the clause because the clause being deleted. Very tough. And then after that, recently, if you see Muhyiddin Yassin announcement in June 2021, he masukkan balik the clause. So right now we try to use the clause to increase the contract price value in order for us to cater the price increase in material price. So in my point of view, if you want to, in my point of view, construction is not considered as a high risk project because of the payment is confirmed by the government, number one. Number two is the margin is quite very high. Number three is our return based on project basis. So in my point of view, if you want to categorize our project as our industry as a high risk project, you need to know who is our client. If B2B means that business to business, maksud business to business adalah the company A and company B, that is high risk because the payment is not guaranteed. So a lot of, for the government project and the private project, for the government project, in case anything happen, it will be jalan saja. For the private project, if anything goes wrong, they will be, is either on hold, cancel, or terbengkalai. For example, perumahan project, that is the private project. Betul. For the private project, there is a lot of terbengkalai. Yang tu agak merosakkan market lah. Memang agak merosakkan market. And if you refer back to Mr. Zua Sheng Gang just now, he talked about the project in KK.
Okay.
He's doing the apartment project. That is B2B. Right now, during the pandemic, is cancelled.
Yeah.
So the business to business segment, in case anything happen, that is high risk, is cancelled. But for the project, for the government project, even pandemic is still ongoing. Example, Southern region, Northern region, Penbona Highway. You cannot stop. So in case of anything happen, the government will support the question, the price impact. That is my point of view.
Thank you, thank you very much for the lengthy presentation. Thank you very much for spare your time here in this class. From morning, now it's already afternoon, near 12:30 already. So right, I guess we should let you go. Thank you very much again for the presentation. Later on, you can share the slide with me. Or if you don't mind, you can straight away share in this chat box here, so that everyone will get the file download from you. You can put in the chat box in this Zoom before you exit this part. So, but thank you very much for the presentation from Technologies, Noor Nikman Saleh, as the one of the director for Black Dot Management Sdn Bhd. I wish you, from a personal point of view, I wish you all the best, and the company all the best to get more collaboration projects and everything. And yeah, thank you very much for being here. And I'm sure that while listening to you here, yeah, I think you have been I'm very proud that to say that we have in one way or another that contribute to the success of you today, of what your company today, the success of what the company today. So this CMBA course in that sense is really worth it to be invested, because I think his background was his first degree was in engineering, right? If I'm not mistaken, and then engineer, right? Your background, and then after that you venture into CMBA here in Unimas. Yeah, so that's the good types of training purposes. And now you are heading a company, and you deal with a lot of these issues and so on, which is interesting. All right, so thank you again. Thank you very much. I wish you again all the best. So you can send the slides later on to me, and I'll see you. So
Okay, thank you again, Faisal, for inviting me. Thank you again. So thank you for teaching me in 2017.
No problem. I'm glad. Right. See you.
Thank you. Right. Bye. Bye, guys. Okay.
Bye. All right. There we have Technologies, Noor Nikman Saleh. I didn't ask, or anyone didn't ask actually how he get the TS. But anyhow, so I think we're going to have a break. Yeah, we're going to have a break because it's already afternoon. We're going to have a break, half an hour break, up to 1 o'clock, and then we continue on with our discussion. I promise. No, just now I said I want to give like homework. I'll give the homework later for you. But no worries. I'll give ample time for you to do it today. Yeah, to submit like the other day. Today, I will give you that part, and then we'll come back about 1 p.m. And then we will discuss a little bit more of the topic and for this class. So go to have your lunch, and myself also refresh out, and then we come back. So I'll see all of you in a while.